Owner Road, Bishop Road, and Cascade Palmetto, Highway 29, parts of Highway 29, and parts of South Fulton Parkway. Opportunities to engage. Here's a list. Is often published in my newsletter. As a matter of fact, it's a standard piece in my newsletter. We have had some of these community events and other things, opportunity for training and learning from some of our departments. It's standard things now throughout the year. So these are not really all of our events, but these are just the main ones that's going to happen throughout the year. As you can see, we still have things like school supply, the Sing Fest. There's some town halls mixed in there. We'll try and do town hall at least every quarter this year. And I've decided this is our first virtual one. I'm going to do them every quarter, even if it's cold, when it's during the spring and summer months, and even in the fall. We're going to try and see if we can get some in person. But whenever it's too cold for us to meet in the fire station bays, we will be meeting virtually. So again, thank you for being here, and I hope you'll tell your neighbors and friends that you at least learned something out of these town halls. All right, so for District 4, for top priorities, and again, I want to thank those citizens who, regularly engage and say we need to do this, or send emails and so on and say we need to do this, we need to do that. The list is long, but this year I want to focus on certain things that I think are real priorities, and people have been talking about a lot, or emailing and having some discussions with me whenever we do engage. For economic development, we have talked about the Cedar Grove Village Center, right, at South Fulton Parkway and Cedar Grove Road. They're going through some contracts now with the builders of the townhomes. They're going to start with that portion of the project first, and then they're going to start with the apartments and the commercial soon thereafter. So sometime this year that should be happening. Also, I'm going to focus and work with the economic development department to see what we can do to bring some more retail here. We have the largest district, and therefore we kind of need more things here. And so we're going to focus more on that. And to that end, I asked for and received a person, especially to focus on District 4. So that person is going to focus on economic development and for District 2 and District 4. So we now have a new program manager for our area. So you're going to be hearing a lot more coming out of us and out of that office with regards to District 4. With CDRA, or Planning and Zoning, Business License, that whole group, going to be looking at the review of the future land use map for our district. We're supposed to be taking another look at our comprehensive plan as a city, but I'm going to take a closer look, and we're going to be coming back to you, the community members, and we're going to talk about how we want to utilize our land and what we want to put where. Because while we want additional things here in District 4, we do not want to put anything anywhere, right? So I'm going to need the community to really come, and when we call those meetings, to come out and give their input. Improve communication around the LDP, the land disturbance permit, and also proposed developments. One of the things that have happened since I've been here is that sometimes we just see land is being cleared because people might have gotten their zoning either under the county or even before I got here. And then citizens would call me and say, what is happening over here? And I would have to go and do research, and we're trying to figure out how we can give council people and thus the community more of a heads up as to when certain things are happening and when land is being proposed to be cleared, or proposed developments that are coming, even before they go through the formal process of application. The Bishop Road landfill, we issued a press release today, and the cleanup of that is well underway. Check my next newsletter for additional details, but basically the timeline that's set forth by the EPD is very tight. The solid waste cleanup should be ending by the end of June this year. And so we look forward to sort of getting rid of that landfill and for reclaiming that land and putting it to some good and productive use. When it comes to parks, I've been pushing hard for the last couple of years to get our parks improved. We started some work on both Cedar Grove Park and Wilkerson Mill Park. Met with staff a couple of weeks ago, and we have decided that we're going to do an entire new master plan for Cedar Grove Park, including a building, including that pool that we talked about a couple of months ago. And then again, we're going to be coming back to the community once we finish the first draft to get your input and to see what other ideas we can get from you. But eventually, that park would have a building, a pool, a splash pad, a little pavilion, and some other amenities that the people of District 4 can enjoy. Wilkinson Mill Park, we have done some few upgrades to that, the bathrooms and the restrooms. If you have attended any of the functions out there, we've had to use portables. That is no longer the case. I just want to thank the Public Works Director, the Parks Director, especially for pushing that forward, and for our city management to really helping us solve that problem with the restrooms at Wilkinson Mill. It's been a long time coming. We're also talking about improving some of the infrastructure there, like paving the parking lot, doing proper striping, and fixing some of the concrete walkways that are really broken and chipped for Wilkinson Mill Park. So look for those upgrades to also happen as well this year. Other things on the priority, not going to steal the thunder of the men and women of the police department and fire and public works who are here. But the police presence and response time, those are issues all over the city that we're trying to improve. We know we need 350 police officers. We're still less than 200, right? And I've been talking to the police department leadership about things like the quality of life issues that we face out here, and let them address some of those plans that are coming. And we got to be encouraging our citizens to connect with our police department digitally. So information is power. So the quicker and the better feedback they can get from us, the more they'll be able to respond to help us out here. Fire, I know Chief is going to talk about what's happening there at Fire Station 6, so I won't say any more about that. Public Works, again, we're doing more road paving. Director Antonio is going to talk about that and roundabouts that's coming. I'm working with our state representatives and our city management to try and get GDOT to the table to talk about some projects on the state roads that have been lagging out there for a while, and we just need those, need to get updates and need to get them to continue to push those projects forward. EV charging stations, that's a more recent thing. There are lots of grant funding that's out there for things like that. One of the things that I did when I got here was to co-sponsor some legislation, Councilmember Williams and Reeves when he was here. And I am very big on this thing about making sure our city is very efficient in getting, going after grant funding, right? And increased communication with the citizens. I know we do our weekly newsletter. That has been, thank you guys for reading it and for giving feedback. I know when I get feedback from the public, on things that are in that newsletter, I know you guys are reading it. But if you're not getting it and you're on here tonight, jc.sebastian at city-of-South-Fulton.ga.gov, and we can sign you up for that newsletter. Other things that we're hoping to implement this year is a new website, and also to communicate via texting. For 2024, I'm serving as the Mayor Pro Tem for 2024, which basically says any duties that the mayor may assign in his absence, I would have to take up until he's back around, or report back to him. This week, he assigned me to attend this meeting, this roundtable with Congresswoman Nikema Williams, the mayor's roundtable, and I gathered some really good information there, and I will be debriefing with him. That happened a couple of days ago. And along those lines, I'm also filling in for Councilmember Williams Brown, who will be on 2 weeks leave. in February. So I'll just watch over that district for her until she gets back. Sorry, I jumped ahead. All right. So today I attended the CompStat meeting for the police department. And thank you again to the police department for hosting me. I learned a lot. And out of that meeting, at least one piece of legislation I started to work on to sort of help out of. And just want to remind everyone that Merck Miles is open, and I want to again remind everyone around sanitation that if you missed the pickup, you know, QR code or that number on your can, call it and make a report so that we don't have garbage sitting on the street for too long. I know that the team is working on some QC issues because we had some issues in District 4 last week. And I've spoken to the leadership, and they're going to be going back and working on some QC issues with the team so that they can make sure they don't miss large areas. District 4, we're the largest geographic and area, and we have the more complicated boundaries given that we touch 4 cities around us. And so we have some really jagged boundaries. And so sometimes new staff, they understandably miss areas, but that's not an excuse. We need to figure out how to solve that problem. And that's it. I'm going to then turn things over. Here's my contact information. You can always email me, and my city cell is 470-827-4402, and the office number is 470-809-7704. And my assistant, if you've been around, you know, Miss Jessica Davis, I've been helping to take care of District 4, the issues of District 4. Thank you, Jessica. I'm sure you're on here someplace. And her number, if you call the office, you'll get her, or you can email jessica.davis@cdsouthfultonga.gov. And with that, I will stop sharing my screen, and I'm open to taking a couple of questions, if there are a couple of questions. Let's see, there's something in the chat.
Mayor Pro Tem Sebastian, we do have one question on YouTube from Ms. Tiffany Norris. This is in regards to the Cedar Grove Village project. She states there are lots of old, beautiful oak trees on the side near the Shell Plaza. Can the developers commit to leaving those and some green space?
There will be green space in that development. I think the whole area is 66 acres, and I believe a third of it will be left to be green space. Now, with regards to saving specific trees, we'll probably make that ask, but based on the design, I know a lot of the concentration is going to be in the front. Concentration of the buildings going to be in the front. So that is a request that we can make. I really do believe in that. So that's a really good question. And whatever trees we can save, especially the large older ones, we'll try and see if we can. That's a good question.
Thank you. And then we also have one from, and please forgive me, Devarius Milton. It's more in relation to Parks and Rec and facility rentals. So Mr. Milton, I will hold that question until that time. But we also have another question from Dedrick Lindsay asking, are there plans for new high schools?
Oh, well, that's a really great question. And that's one in which we would probably have our District 4, as in School Board Member District 4, Dr. Warren, to be at one of my town halls, because I know they track data all the time. I attended one of her meetings in the fall of last year, and they do have someone that tracked this information on growth in the region. So while they haven't said, yes, there's definitely going to be a new high school, and this is where it's going to go, that information, because that was one of the things that I asked before I became the council member. because this area has a lot of growth, and of course, not only from the city of South Fulton, but even right on our borders, right? On Hall Road, Union City, basically, they're putting what seem to be hundreds of apartments, right? And they're just across the street from Renaissance Middle School, right? So all that is going to impact those schools. During the redistricting, another about 1,000 students were put into the Langston Hughes cluster. And so that's one of the reasons why we're doing some work in that area to sort of improve the infrastructure. And I know Antonio's going to talk about that during his presentation. So to answer the question, while there have not been any specific schools and placements announced or location, right? The school board tracks that information, and they will let us know. Unfortunately, what they do not do, and I learned this, they don't build new schools to expect students to come into them. What they do, they wait until the schools that we have are really full to build new schools. So I know that for sure because I asked that question about using projections of growth rather than waiting until the schools are crowded. Right?
Thank you so much for that. Shanta Wright is asking, are there any plans for a traffic light or roundabout at Campbellton, Fairburn, and DeMooney Road?
Campbellton, Fairburn, and DeMooney Road. Actually, yes. That's supposed to be a roundabout, and that's a state road. So you heard me talk about before getting with the state reps for the area and discussing the state projects. That's one of the projects. A roundabout at Jones Road, a roundabout at Campbellton Fairburn Road, a roundabout at I think it's Ridge Road, Butner, and 92. And also one at Cascade Palmetto / Fulton Industrial and 92. So there are a slew of roundabouts that are coming for that area. And those are the projects that I'm talking about. We need to make sure GDOT either keep them a schedule or bring them forward because we're really having a lot of traffic issues right now.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem. There are a couple of other questions, but I will hold those for Public Works. They're Public Works related.
Okay. Good deal. All right, thank you. So I think Public Works is actually next. So Antonio, if you and your team are ready, the floor is all yours.
I appreciate it. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Sebastian, residents of the District 4. It's my pleasure to be here with you so that we can share the news, what Public Works is doing, and how we can serve better to our residents of District 4 and the rest of the residents of the city of South Fulton. Jacqueline, can you provide us the share drive? Okay, appreciate it. Ruslan, are you on?
Yes.
All right. Let's go ahead, go straight to the next page, please. In a quick cheat sheet, I want to provide to you all what Public Works does, our areas of responsibilities for our team. The team, it's engaged with planning and engineering. I'm not going to read verbatim what planning and engineering does, as well as we have, we're in charge of the LMIG, which is a funding concession that Georgia DOT provides to the city. And we are very diligent in getting those funds on an average of about $1.4, $1.6 million a year that help us out to do some repairs and subsidize some of the fund needs for the transportation for the city. We're also responsible for T+1. I'll be going in more detail on the T+1. We're forecasted $94.5 million, and T+2 that is $90.3 million. So both of those Ts plus were approved before. At this point, we're currently in the process of beginning to implement construction of Ts plus 1 projects, and started to do Ts plus 2 resurfacing projects as well as some design projects for Ts plus 2. As you may know, those projects were approved back in years before on the Ts plus 1 and Ts plus 2. Those two Ts plus have tiers 1, 2, and 3. We committed to do tier 1 due to the funding constraints that we have. Unfortunately, most of costs have increased in some cases from 200 to 300% throughout the state of Georgia. The latest statistics are not the greatest for us. We receive additional funding, but still the funding, when you do a fiscal analysis, comparing with the cost, it's not there part to part. When it comes to construction operations, we maintain all the roads throughout the city of South Fulton, about 600 miles of roads. We still maintain gravel roads, bridges, culverts, storm drainage, and so on. Traffic operations, we are in charge of maintaining the signals that goes throughout the city of South Fulton, and we work on very due diligently with Georgia DOT, as we have some state routes and local roads that we share with them. When it comes to administration, we do all the procurement, and absolutely we are on Sickly Fix, where we receive all your requests on a daily basis. We have a staff that are operating as diligently as possible through the hour. So we encourage you all to always submit all your requests through Sickly Fix, so that we can respond and assign properly all the needs that we have. We typically provide the high responses to the safety issues that are, and others that are aesthetics. We still schedule it, but safety is our primarily concern. MS4, we're making sure that all the water that goes through our gutters and inlets throughout the city are being discharged as clean water. We work with you all to ensure that to please do not litter, to please do not fill our inlets with leaves or others. We work with you to ensure that us as the community and city and others, we maintain our waters for the city of South Fulton. We've been doing inspections for about 3-4 years ago. We have completed in 2023, and in 2024, we're going to engage again on the 5-year cycle, where we're going to be inspecting 20% of our infrastructure and hoping to come out with a stormwater master plan, so that will give us additional support on what we can do with our infrastructure. Solid waste, as Councilor Sebastian stated before, it's a new initiative that we have, and we've been having our issues here and there, but we're committed to provide the best services to ensure that all collections are done as scheduled. We're providing quarterly reports. We enhance a bit more our solid waste collections. So we're doing the street sweeping with them. We're doing tire abatement program. We're picking up illegal dumping and so on. And we're going to enhance as well our illegal pickup in the next couple of weeks. Streetlights is when we started with the city of South Fulton, we have under 10,000 lights. Now we are taking the lead, I will say, throughout the metro, where we have most of the lights comparing with any other city. We're constantly approving more streetlights. Any projects that we do within the limits of a project, they have streetlights. Any concerns that you have, we ask you to please send your request back to us, and we're ensuring to assess it and then come back to you and work with the power companies to ensure that installations are properly done in a timely manner. Public Works, what I want to bring to you is that I want to make sure that you all have real-time information to any project that we're doing. The maintenance schedules are on the website. The streetlight outages that, as you can see, when it comes to Georgia Power, Greystone, Coweta Fayette, and so on, you have numbers where we want you to call them directly so we can resolve those issues. And the reason is that in many cases, we're not aware of those things, but you are aware of those things, and you need to have that number so you can call them out right away. Resolutions and applications we have for Adopt a Road, no parking, traffic calming, road closure and so on, we have all the applications online where you can pick up. So with this, I want to display back to you because we want you to utilize the website. So that way we can have your comments and so on items that perhaps we're not providing to you real time all the information that you need. Instead of calling our council, instead of calling staff, we want you to access all the information that you need. And if that information is not up to date, we want to know those things so that way we can keep those updates as we are promising back to you. With that said, I want to show a few examples on how we access to the real-time information on our capital projects and T-Splash projects for District 4. Roseanne, will you please click the link? What this link does, brings back to you straight to the City of South Fulton website. Then you go into Public Works. Then as soon as you can, click in Public Works, you're going to see Public Works Capital T-Splash projects. It's a quick, very simple website that you have access to many of the information that you would like to know. All the detailed information we're managing internally, but what you need to know is right there on your fingertips. With that said, Roseanne, please go into District 4. The first thing we'd like to do is filter out what projects do you have for District 4. And then what you want to do is if you see number 4 in any of those selected items, you'll have to tap all of them so you can select roads projects that are shared with other districts, such as District 2, 3, and 4, and so on. You apply those, and then right there you have all the projects that you have on you. So if you want to scroll down, Roseanne, you have all the projects for District 4. Then another item that you want to see is that on the blues under the report, don't do that. So don't do it yet. But if you click right there, you're going to be able to see the fact sheet of that particular project. Okay, but on the left inside, perhaps you want to see. I want to see a particular.
Director Antonio, can you
Yes.
click, for example, on the roundabout at South Cedar Grove Road and Rivertown Road as an example? Because I know that one has been, yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do right here is this particular project, you want to go into project type, and then you want to see what project do we have in City of South Fulton. That's a roundabout that we know. Go ahead, Roseanne, click roundabout. Or intersection improvement, that will be fine. Nope, it should be under roundabout. Should have already click in right there.
But no, let me refresh the screen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to refresh the screen. Okay, project. Okay.
Then sometimes you got to refresh the screen right there. Hold on, Roseanne, please. Go back to the circle on the left top corner. When you filter out something, then you have to go back right there to filter so that data will refresh by itself. Otherwise, it doesn't refresh automatically. So it doesn't go from 1 to 2 and 3. Always refresh. Go ahead now.
Yeah.
So you type the number, the initial letters, and then it comes back to you. The roundabout, no, that's Butner Road at 92. That's with.
No, let's go to the district first. Let's select all the districts. Okay.
For some reason, okay, click everything out again, refresh.
Let's do. Is OSI 614?
You should right click. We just update this one. All right, so you can go into go T+1, filter out project funding source.
614. Let's see if we can do it the old-fashioned way. We'll OSI 614. 6, 8. All right, right here.
Okay, go fact sheet, please. So at this point, this is the project that you have here. You scroll it a little bit down, so you have the information. So when you look at the project is right now under construction, and with the schedule we looked at February 15 to begin, we have issued the NTP and all the detailed information. Minor comments are right here. Okay, so with this fact sheet tells you what we've done and what is on the project. But now, if you go into the website, there's a part on the website where we say what we're working on it. So at that particular location,
Okay.
you'll have to go into the
6:14.
no, you have to go into the website for 1 minute
Okay.
on the Public Works. No, you got Public Works on the website. You have to go back. You're already up front.
Yes, I'm trying to go back, but let's see if we can. All right.
Right there, Public Works. And then what we're working on. What we're working on. There you go. Then you start going. So on this particular page, that's where we have most of the day-to-day activities on the particular project. So we should already uploaded Cedar Grove, where we should have it, all the plans for the particular project. Upcoming projects, Riverton, right there. So if you go right here, you see upcoming projects. Then you have all the information right here, and then you click right there, find out more. And it provides you the information on the project. Then as the project starts to develop, you will see the notifications on the project. You will see the pictures and others and so on.
How
Now-
often do you upload things like during a project? Is it once a week or
Weekly.
Weekly, okay.
Now, if you click right here with support and documents, Rivertown and Cedar Grove, that's a quick view for our community to how the project is going to look like. So there are 5 pages that's self-explanatory, which are this marking and signing plans. This is the roundabout. So you can see from where to where and so on.
Okay, thank you.
Right? So every single project that we have here for your district will have that information, and any detailed information as project goes to construction will have it. Okay, let's go back into the presentation. Then when it comes to schedules, right away, street sweepers and so on, we also have that listed on the website. Right there, you have the right away maintenance schedule. Go down from software. Then at this point, you have the schedule, and then it is typically it's bi-weekly. Just to let you know, in the past, we used to do every 4 weeks. The city, thanks to the mayor and council, we're able to do every 2 weeks the rights-of-way maintenance. So we're doing local roads as well as some state routes that crosses through our jurisdiction. And we're still working with Georgia DOT for them. They do every 6 weeks. And we're going to enhance more little pickup. So the roads where we're having most trouble, more issues, we're going to enhance those. Keep on going. The street sweep program, we have a schedule for street sweeping as well. And those are just for non-residential roads. We're doing, in the past, we used to do once a quarter. Now we're doing almost weekly on the street sweeping. We have 2 street sweepers, and at this point we do the best that we can. So just keep in mind that those our street sweepers, while they're under operation, they're supposed to ride at 5 miles per hour. It's an average of 4 miles per hour while they're sweeping. Keep on going down. All the programs that we want to share with them. Go back to the presentation, please. Then those are some of the items that go back.
Which one would you like me to do?
Yeah,
The-
were a few things that we've done it.
Okay.
As part of the presentation, what we've done so far, unfortunately, we still have lots of illegal dumping on Jones Road, Rivertown, and so on. We're still picking up those things. Gravel roads, we're still maintaining all those gravel roads. We have a robust schedule. We're going to be doing dust abatement as well. We have a contract in place, so going forward, we're doing our due diligence part to maintain those gravel roads much quicker on the schedule and so on. It's still, dealing with flooding at some locations, and unfortunately, it is due to sometimes the accumulation of pine straws or leaves into our inlets, manholes, and so on. So that's a primary reason of floods, but we're doing everything we can to respond immediately. But in the meantime, we're also working with property owners to ensure that we do not want anybody dumping anything into our inlets. We want to make sure that if the leaves and pine needles comes from your yard, we want to make sure that we all pick up what comes from our yards, and it shouldn't go into the streets.
Director Venezuela, can you speak a little bit to, because I think we're going to be running short on time.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit to the road paving program, and specifically the District 4 and Jones Road, where we have those schools where I think it was last winter into last spring, we had those issues with those roads becoming impossible up there?
Yes.
What we're doing now?
Yeah. When it comes to road resurfacing, last year we've done White Mill Road. It was a full depth reclamation that was completed. A road that comes from Campbellton Road to Rivertown. This year we started with Line Creek Road. Campbellton Road is completed. We have Colonist Drive and McClure Road. That is, we've done the deep base repairs, and we're waiting for good weather so we can complete those two roads. Coming along, we have Coweta Road coming for hoping to complete by the spring. Then for the summer of 24, it's under tier 2, under tier +2. We have Bishop Road, Hogwood Road. Sorry about that. We have on the road, and so on, as the list is right there below. Move up a little bit, Francois. And additional subdivisions that we'll be doing on District 4. All right, let's go back. Capital projects, so we got the bridges.
Sorry, Director. Can you go back to the slide with the road paving? Because I had a question from the president of the Lakes at Cedar Grove yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I see Cedar Grove Village and the Lakes at Cedar Grove. Are they both on the list, the subdivisions?
Yeah.
Yes. Right. It's right there. And the Lakes,
okay.
It's right.
Good. Thank you.
Let's go back to the presentation. All right. Additional project that we have under T-Plus, we have bridges, road. We have intersection improvements and roundabouts. Some of them with the state, some of them are ours. So the state is the Route 92 at South Fulton Parkway. It's the Route 92 Jones Road, Dimon Road. It's the Route 92 Button Road or Ridge Road. Then we have the awarded project that we just discussed, Rivertown Road at Cedar Grove, the roundabout. And in preparation of other intersections that we have, Bethlehem Road, Cedar Grove Road, on the road, Hogwood Road, and Rivertown Road. We actually have those projects, and we're looking to get to design very soon. Bridges, Cochran Road over Deep Creek, and District 2 and 4, it is under construction. The Muni Road over Deep Creek is under design. Intersection improvement roundabout, the Muni Road, that's where it's started, it's under design still. And the Campbellton Road, Fairmont Road at Stonewall Tail, that it is that's the resurfacing of that is not right. That Campbellton Road at Stonewall Tail is the signal in no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that we have a mistake right there from Campbellton Road, Fairmont Road. Okay. Campbellton Fairmont. See, yeah, that's a mistake on that. All right, let's go back into the next
That's the last slide.
All right. Councilor Sebastian,
Okay.
I think I ran over my 15 minutes. I did my best to keep it within those minutes.
Yeah, you have a lot going on. We have time for a couple of quick questions so we can leave enough time for the others.
Sure, absolutely.
Any questions,
Okay.
Jackie?
Yes, sir.
Go
The
ahead.
first question is, how can we help keep the traffic priorities in front of GDOT? The entire corridor of 92 from Demooney to South Fulton Parkway is in urgent need of those projects to make it safe and convenient.
It's a really good question. Honestly, we do have a good relationship with Georgia DOT, and we want to maintain that great relationship since Georgia DOT was very kind to the city. We were able to bring millions of dollars to the city without the city of South Fulton having a percentage on those shares. But we're coming back with some higher up meetings, and then we hope that we can accelerate those projects. The primary reason of them perhaps being a bit behind schedule is it's because they're using federal funds. So every time that you use federal funds, a project goes through a PDP, which is a plan development process. That process by itself is it's a lengthy process, but it's because due to using federal funds. While the project has to go to multiple approvals, multiple steps, and then you cannot jump the steps. And finally, the funding it sits on a particular bracket. Perhaps some of those projects are set with federal funds for 25, 26. They will not be able to utilize earlier because you got to meet those fiscal years. Very seldom you're able to advance a project because for whatever reason, a project that was scheduled for a particular fiscal year, it didn't meet that, and then they push it back a little forward, and whatever is ready, they push back a project that is shovel ready. But we're doing our best, and we hope that in the next couple of weeks or so that we're going to be meeting with GDOT, we can have updated information on the project, especially on 92.
Okay, thank you.
Antonio, if you don't mind, I'd like to elaborate on that a little bit. I was just talking with the councilman about this very topic, and you're right, this is an excellent question. We wanted to try to take a data-driven approach to collecting the appropriate data so that when we go to GDOT, that we can make the proper arguments with them about needing to make corrections in certain areas that's vulnerable around the city. And so my expectation is that we'll work with your council member along with the Director of Public Works to try to make sure that as we roll out our real-time crime center, that we're looking at the appropriate data points to make those data-driven arguments.
Absolutely. Yeah, that we'll continue working with you, Chief, and definitely welcome all the support that we can get.
And it never hurts to, when you encounter your state representatives or your state senator, it can be in a nice way, but just let them know those are concerns.
Absolutely.
Right? Those things can't hurt. Those are the people that I reach out to and let them know. And I want to thank those citizens who frequently send me. I think one of them asked a question earlier, Derek from the Parks at Cedar Grove. Right, he is very diligent in sending me things, and if there's an accident somewhere in South Fulton Parkway, he would email those things to me, and I will send them right up the chain to the state reps, so they can be aware that these things are going on and how often they're happening. So, to Chief's point, as we have these conversations with GDOT, not only for the projects that they have already in the works, but to line up other projects and other needs that we have, not only in District 4, but around the city. Any other questions, Jacqueline?
Yes. The next question is from Wayne Bullock. Is there a stormwater maintenance plan using a stormwater fee to fully take over maintenance of the stormwater?
It is an excellent question. We're committed to do a master plan on stormwater. Many municipalities throughout the metro, they have a utility stormwater. while the city of South Fulton does not. But you also want to consider that we are a city of was created 6 years ago, and we came in 2 years after. We're able to stay in compliance with EPD, and we're going now to our next 5-year cycle of inventory. Then, and within what we've done on the first 3 years, we have enough information, and what we have for this next 5 years, I believe that we'll have the proper scope of work, so we can go for a stormwater master plan, and within those, upon meeting with the community, mayor and council, and others at the city, I'm sure we can come back and do a better summary and recollection that indeed our infrastructure is not new. It needs to have updates. It needs to be kept up to date, and there are many things that stormwater needs it. It's not cheap. It takes a bit of time. It takes design, and it takes funding to get it done.
Thank you, Antonio. Next question, we have two more. The original schedule for the Lakes at Cedar Grove to be paid was last June, but was canceled with no new date.
I think we answered that.
Okay. Cedar Grove Village HOA T-Splosh has been slated in Tier 1 for multiple years. The most recent date was November 2023. What is the best way to obtain an update?
So all the information for T-Splosh,
Okay.
it is kept on the website. The schedule is there, and anything that we're moving with regards to resurfacing and so on, it's kept maintained on a daily basis, but updated on the website through your team, Jacqueline. Thanks so much for all the due diligence part that you do. It is maintained weekly. Then the primary reason of the minor delay on resurfacing was that we went through a cycle of updating many things at the city. Now the bids were open, and unfortunately, we got to have, for me, it's at least 49, 51 degrees of good weather, so we can continue with resurfacing. Anything below 47, it's risky to do. So as soon as the weather permits, it is my full commitment to complete many of those projects before by the end of the spring of this year. Then I'm gonna let Tier 2 and late spring. I'm trying to complete by the summer, and then hopefully let the Tier 3 late summer and try to complete by the spring of 2025. But believe me, every single road that was approved on T+2 for resurfacing, it will be done under Tier 1. There are other tiers that it will be done. It requires to be done. Don't get me wrong. There are many areas that will still need to be done, but it's all about funding constraint. And the way how we pick those things up is that based on the paving condition index of our roads, and anything below 30 are done this year, 40 next year, and 50 the following years. But as you're doing things, it's a cycle. The roads, they don't get better. It gets damaged. So we constantly we're going to be in the need of about $12 to $15 million to maintain our roads throughout the city.
Those are all the questions thus far.
Jacqueline, I just remember on the last road that was listed under resurfacing, it was not a mistake. It is a road upgrade, which is actually Campbellton Road, Fairburn Road, or State Route 92. Under the presentation, that one. It's not a resurfacing, but that is a project. It's an upgrade that Georgia DOT would be doing for us. So it's a presentation coming in on February 25th. It's a nice upgrade for District 4. That it is going to be a road widening with sidewalks, a raised median, and it will start a whole road and extend it almost to White Mill Road. Okay. With that, if there's no more questions,
Thank you.
yes, sir. I appreciate the opportunity, and I want to stop right here so that the next presenter can move on.
All right, thank you much.
Yes, sir.
Fire Chief Judge Jones, I think you're up.
Good evening, District 4 and Mayor Pro Tem Sebastian. Thank you all for inviting the fire department. For those that don't know me, I'm Chad Jones. I'm the fire chief for the City of South Portland Fire Rescue Department. And I'm excited to come and bring y'all some news about your fire department. Last year was a growing year for us. We were able to complete an ISO analysis review of the department, which gave us a lot of great data and information. And now we can move forward working with the city manager, the assistant city manager, mayor, and council on how we get there, just like the police department did a couple of years ago. We got to remember the department's 25 years old, so we're growing, and unfortunately there are some needs, but we are here to serve you. The response data for District 4 is serviced by 2 fire stations, Station 6 on Cedar Grove Road and Station 8 on Ridge Road. Station 8, last year we were able to implement a water tender. It services areas out there that does not have municipal water. And so that runs into a problem when you have a fire department and you don't have water. So we were able to rectify that and get a tender in service, which was a huge step for us. But the call volume for the last 2 months, December and January, we had 411 calls out in District 4. 5 fires, which is only 1%, which is a good thing. But the most were cooking fires, and we did have 2 lightning strikes. So unfortunately, with lightning strikes, there's not much we can do, but we did go around to the neighborhoods about the cooking fires and talk to people about not leaving their stoves on. The majority of the calls, 89%, and 364 were EMS or service calls. That's pretty normal for the entire city, but about 90% of our call volume is emergency medical services. We are working with our provider Grady on trying to get better service. We're also working with state legislators and on how do we better the EMS system in our area. A growing concern is the false alarms. We had 34 false alarms. That's 6% of our calls. And those are things we work with PD and some others about, making sure your alarm systems are up to date. But a lot of times with the storms we've had, there has been some malfunction. So please check your alarm systems. One of the things we really need to work on and improve, and I know Councilman has talked about it, is response times. Our average response times are 10 minutes and 42 seconds in District 4. Some of the factors we're looking at, and we're going to try to overcome this year, is just the sheer large area with 2 fire stations in the call volumes. The other thing we're looking at, data shows that 30% of those calls are responded to by outside stations outside of District 4. They're coming in because Station 6, Station 8 is either on another call, they're at training, they could be out of service for maintenance, but it's something that we're tracking is how many times in a district or in a territory someone has to come from the outside. He mentioned already, didn't steal my thunder, which is a good thing. We looked at Station 6 in renovating. So good news, everything, we're finalizing the plans. We were given today that the 1st of April, or first week of April, we should have a groundbreaking. What we're doing at Station 6 is we're expanding the station to allow us to put another apparatus in there. The ladder truck, which is going to help with our ISO, help response in that area. There's also going to be a community room, so the councilman can host his town halls and have other meetings there in that community room, which will be 50 to 100 people. So we're hoping to have that project completed before the end of the year and have that apparatus up and running. Also, in our EMS expansion plan, as I said, about 90% of our call volume is EMS. We're looking at putting smaller rescues. They have already been ordered in last year's budget. We have 2 that should be here in the next month, and a 3rd one should be here the month after. Throughout the next 2 quarters, we should be putting them in service. One of them should be in the neighborhood of District 4 to also help on the response times and running to, the EMS calls. Another few things that we've already done with the EMS expansion in this fiscal year, and we're looking forward to it, is we have started our second advanced EMT class. We finished one up in December and started another one in January, and that is training our personnel to the highest level we can. Also thankful to the Marin Council that supported us, and we upgraded all of our heart monitors and Lucas devices and all of our apparatus. So they are state of the art. We get a lot of questions throughout the cities about vacancies, and we've really looked at that. We had 18 additional people given into this year's budget. Our head count went up to 210. January 16th, we started a class 31, which brings our vacancies under 10. And we're looking at another certified class coming in April. So as far as your fire department, we should not have many vacancies, if any, towards the summer. Again, I said we finished an ISO analysis, which gave us a lot of good data and everything. We have contracted an outside company that's coming in at the end of February, 1st of March, and will set us on a path to complete a 5-year strategic plan. We're hoping that by next quarter to be able to publish that, show you what your fire department is going to look like over the next 5 years, and chart that course for what we need to do and where we need to go. Some of our programs that we're really excited to talk about, our youth engagement program, our all women Camp Embers program is launching in its 3rd year. Our instructors are already talking with all the high school counselors, but it is, if you haven't heard of our Camp Ember program, it is a 5-day program through spring break that is focused on women in fire service. We reach out to the young women in high schools. They come in and we put on a camp. This last year, we were able to recruit and actually hired 2 of the young women when they graduated from high school. They're in our recruit class now. And we've also been able to grow the program from 15 slots to 20. We have a lot of good engagement, a lot of good feedback. So we're excited that that program is still up and running with that youth engagement. Also, we just got done talking with the Fulton County Board of Education and Westlake High School about bringing in a dual enrollment. If you're not familiar with the CTAE program in Georgia, all the high schools in South Fulton would be able to join, but we hope to bring in a program that we would be able to teach fire science to high school students and actually have a pathway to hire them right out of high school. It's a program that's been really effective throughout the state of Georgia, but that's one thing, is looking at these young men and women, giving them a path, a career right in high school to be dual enrolled into college and high school. Be a really good program, and we hope to launch that this fall in August. Really excited about that. And the last thing I want to bring up is just our community engagement. For those that don't know that we do install smoke detectors, you can reach out and make sure my contact information is in the chat. But if you need a smoke detector check, if you need a CO monitor check, let us know. We'll come out. If you need a smoke detector, we will install those. And our emergency manager, Jake Jenkins, and their staff is up and running now. And they are starting to offer community CPR. I think they've already done 2 HOAs has reached out. We've gone in on Saturday and taught community CPR. The other thing is the community emergency response team, CERT. And we just had an HOA reach out, and we have gone in and taught them about emergency response. What CERT does is when we have a storm, if we have different emergencies, from the tornadoes, from floods, it teaches a community how to come together and kind of work together for that first 72 hours. And so the city resources can catch up. So it's a really good program, and we're happy to offer those. And with that, that's pretty much my talking points for tonight. And Ms. Howell, or anybody that's got a question, just let me know.
Chief, I have a quick
Thank
question,
you.
quick one.
Yes, sir.
I know early in 2022, we had a spate of fires that was started by kids in District 4. If you recall, that's why we partnered to do the fire and ice thing, where we basically bribe the kids with ice cream once a year in the spring to come out and learn about fire safety. I didn't hear you mention any of those happening. So I'm wanting to take credits for that happening, but I just wanted to know if we had any more of those incidents, because we had like 3 or 4 like within a span of about 2 months in District 4.
Nothing in District 4, and yes, a huge shout out. One of your fire and ice, one of the young men, we honored him because took that knowledge back. They had a fire. He was able to save his family, get him out, which we acknowledged. We have not had any. We have been constantly working with the court system. We have a juvenile fire setter program. The last couple we have had is actually, unfortunately, with I want to say it's a TikTok trend where they think that it's I guess cute or funny to go in and set the soap dispensers on fire in high schools. Unfortunately, that is a felony, and there's cameras, and we've had I think we've had 3 in the last year to do that. But we do work with the court system anytime there's a juvenile. One thing we have not had is, like I said, in the last couple of months, any juveniles. I do give a huge shout out to our investigation team. It's one of the things that you're proud of, but you want to see go away is they had 11 arrests last year in our city for arson. Arson, as Chief Meadows probably can contest to it, is one of the hardest crimes to be able to have an arrest, because a lot of times the evidence is burned up and actually getting proof. So it's the diligence of those investigators actually doing, going out there, finding the evidence and making a case and getting arrests. So, none of those were really in District 4, but our investigators have done an awesome job. We're building a great team to make sure that our people are safe. And if someone does commit an arson, that we can detect it and we can lock them up.
Thank you, Chief. Jackie, any more questions?
Thank you. Wayne Bullock is asking, since roads and some of HOAs are very narrow, are there any plans to get smaller fire trucks or ambulances to service these areas in case of an emergency?
I would like to say yes. We do look at our risk models. Last year, we were able to purchase what we call our mini pumper. It runs out of Station 3, and we are systematically looking and getting into our 911 center roads that we have issues with. Unfortunately, most of our fire trucks follow a national standard, NFPA standard. And as much as the fire chiefs and everybody want them to get smaller and get less expensive, they just keep getting bigger and more expensive. And it really is an issue because we have problems with our stations trying to fit them in there. One of the things I'll do tell you is I do give a huge shout out to our fire marshal, Donna Dingler. CDRA plans can tell you she is in those meetings when they're developing subdivisions.
Some of HOA are very.
And I think someone else keyed up, but she makes sure that state, federal laws, some of the things we just inherited, things that were built in the, I just give it 50s, 60s, and 70s didn't have the same laws about the width of streets, but we do come out to HOAs, we do pre-fire plans, we do everything we can to make sure that we have apparatus and quick response, and we're mapping it with 911 so that we send the appropriate equipment. But yeah, unfortunately, our fire trucks are not getting any smaller.
That concludes all of the questions that we have so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Tony, Deputy Director of Parks, you're up.
All right. Good evening to everybody. I bring greetings from the Parks and Recreation Department with the City of South Fulton. My name is Tony Jordan. As Mayor Pro Tem Sebastian stated, I'm the Deputy Director for Parks and Recreation. I want to say thank you to Mayor Pro Tem, because as he was speaking earlier, I literally, you said everything that I was already prepped myself to say this evening. So I want to say thank you for that assist and alley-oop. What I will do is
just softened them up for you.
I appreciate it. I did for the and I bring I want to say good evening to the constituents of District 4. Thank you for coming on board. I did make my email available and my cell phone number if you have any questions beyond this evening. And also there was a question about rec rentals. I made that available via the chat as well too, just in case I'm unable to answer any questions this evening. But what I will speak on behalf of our department, one of the things that we've done or been working on the last few months, in particular as it relates to Wilkinson Mill Park and Cedar Grove Park, as Mayor Pro Tem stated earlier this evening, we did do some renovations to the restrooms. And I tell you, we in the last few months we did rent a few restroom porta potties to come out there because we had those issues. So we're happy to say that we should not be having that issue anymore. So there are some other things that we're actually looking at. So the restroom issue at Wilkinson Mill has been addressed. We are looking at taking some of the concept for the outdoor parks, the outdoor exercise equipment, and mirroring that for the Cedar Grove location. So I will say to the residents, I concur with the mayor pro tem as it relates to a master park plan. There was one that was done, but we realized the last few months that we need to have more community engagement and we need to make modifications for it. So what we've done is kind of taken some of that information, and we realized it was good data and good information as it relates to how we could build out a park long term. So we're using some of those ideas, but we know that there's more community engagement part to get the community input on what you guys would like to see in your area. So the exercise equipment, as stated, we want to mirror that at the Cedar Grove location. We've also gotten approval for a splash pad to be at the Cedar Grove Park location, as well as a swimming pool. And so what we're doing, we're working with General Services right now because they're doing an assessment to make sure that the water lines and plumbing is proper. And so we haven't made a determination on where it's going to be in particularly, but we are working with that department to make sure that whenever we roll out, we've kind of got a roadmap on where we're going to place the splash pads and the swimming pools. I'm going to say, hold on, one other thing here. There, in addition to that, we have some outdoor exercise. We have some soft surface walking trails that we want to bring out to Cedar Grove Park, and we're going to take a phased approach. So what that means is that some of the master park plan that we saw before, we're just going to take pieces of it and try to go through a phased approach. So phase one may be doing the soft surface walking trail, identifying the proper location at either of the parks, particularly Cedar Grove Park for the splash pad and the swimming pool. And then for the future, later on down the road, we're hoping that we can get a small building structure where you guys could have community meetings. I know you've been kind of really making do and doing them at the fire department and stuff like that, but it'd be great to get some type of building structure on that Cedar Grove Park location as mentioned, so you can do community meetings. So and someone mentioned earlier about the application and how to do rentals. I will say you cannot use your cell phone. There are some challenges in trying to use your cell phone to do rentals of our facilities, but you can use a laptop, you can use a tablet, and you can use your desktop. And I made sure to put that in there, exactly rec1.com, or you can go to the city's City of South Fulton GA.gov website to figure out how to actually rent any of our outside amenities at our park and recreation facilities.
Okay. Is that it, Deputy Director?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Short, sweet, and to the point, and effective. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking forward to the activities and the upgrade at Cedar Grove Park because you guys hear me say this all the time. The largest district with 7 schools need an active and functioning park with stuff there. Because not only for community meetings, so that we can have programming for all these young people in the district. Okay, without any further ado, we're gonna have Police Chief Keith Meadows and his team to take over. They're the last stop for tonight. Chief, take it away. You're on mute, sir.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having us, Mayor Pro Tem. We've had a great deal of things going on in District 4, and I'd like to talk to you all about a lot of it. But one of the things that I'm most excited about is that District 4 has the lowest crime rate in the city. That
Hey.
wasn't always the case. We ended 2023 with District 4 kind of at the bottom of the crime rate scale, and so far you all are trending in that same direction. We have had some issues with stolen vehicles. We're finding out that many of those stolen vehicles had the keys left inside of them. I would strongly encourage you all. I know it's cold here lately, but most of the cars that we're recovering have the keys with them. And so it would appear that the owners are warming their cars up in the morning, and we're finding them around many of our high schools. So please, 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 if we can curb that activity, your crime numbers would be almost zero. I think the last time I looked at it, we were somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 or 13 for the year, which is really good because we're more than halfway through the month of January. And so we have looked at some problem locations around District 4. I know I've gotten some complaints about the gazebo up off South Fulton Parkway, right at the little shop strip mall there. And I've had conversations with our narcotics unit. We have made a number of arrests at the gazebo. We want you all to continue to pass that information along to us when you see people out and about in those areas, so that we can make sure that we kind of stay on top of it. I do know that I had a long conversation with the councilman, the Mayor Pro Tem, about Cedar Grove Park and some of the security challenges there. I don't know if many of you had the opportunity to see my presentation on the citywide camera project, but after having this conversation with him, we're going to have to reevaluate our position on that camera. I had no idea Cedar Grove Park was so large. It's just a small cleared area, but then the rest of it is full of trees and so forth. And so I'm going to sit down with our park ranger staff. We're going to go out, and I've talked about CPTED principles, that's controlling crime through environmental design. All of our community policing police officers are certified in that area, along with our park rangers. And we want to make sure that we're making the appropriate assessment of
I think you muted, Chief. Okay.
Oh, y'all can hear me now?
Now I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Oh, it's at my internet connection is unstable. And so we want to make sure that we're making the appropriate assessment as far as Cedar Grove Park goes, so that we can get the right type of technology out in District 4. District 4 in and of itself is a huge challenge when it comes to rolling out assets, technology assets in the district, because you're so large and you're not as densely populated. But we want to be very thoughtful when it comes to putting public and private sector cameras out there. We literally have hundreds of cameras right now that's piped into our video integration center, and we want to be able to add to those numbers. And it's not just putting public sector cameras into the real-time crime center. We want to be able to put some of the private sector cameras as well. The council member had the opportunity today to see many of the businesses that have put cameras into our real-time crime center, and the video and level of quality of the video that's coming in there, it's amazing. We had the opportunity also to test our drone patrol program, where we were able to fly some drones to E911 calls along our business corridor, and we had a great deal of success with that. And I believe that District 4 is ripe for a drone patrol program because you have so much undeveloped land in and around the district that it would help us immensely if we were able to fly drones and get a lay of the land from a policing perspective. And so we're sitting down and talking about ways that we can roll out technology more effective in District 4. And it's my opinion that it's going to serve us well as we move forward. I know there were also some concerns about the Cedar Grove. Well, I talked about the Cedar Grove Park. Also, the little strip mall there. The council member has made me aware of some quality of life issues. We want to make sure that we're curbing loitering in and around that strip mall. Also, we want to make sure that we have the right type of presence there as well. Our traffic unit, along with our field inspections unit, will be moving into the Cedar Grove precinct, which would give us more visibility there. Currently, staff, we have some civilian personnel that work out of there, which means they would be able to do limited service deliveries out of that particular precinct. In other words, you can go by there right now and pick up a police report. You can go there also and get fingerprinting done. Just limited services there. So if you have any issues there, please reach out to me. I would be more than happy to address the staff at that particular precinct. I heard the council member also talk about response times. So, you know, I've talked about this several times, and we've had Georgia Tech to do a study with the City of South Fulton Police Department, and they said that we needed somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 350 police officers, right? Well, we're nowhere near where we want to be in terms of our manpower allocations, but we've made really good strides to get there. When I first came, I was hearing horror stories about 2-hour response times when it comes to car accidents and things of that non-emergency incidents. And we were able to set a series of priorities that actually allowed us to reduce our response times. Now, we're hovering around the national average of 7.6 seconds, 7 minutes, 6 seconds for our response times. We're not quite there yet. We're closer to 9 minutes, but I believe as we begin to get closer to our manpower allocations, those numbers will continue to go down. Now, I will say this, we've had some challenges with our E911 system, and the council member has complained about that in terms of, you know, the services that we've been able to get from them. We've had problems with some of the dispatchers holding E911 calls for extended periods of time before they dispatch a police officer. Well, we've reached out to the E911 director. We've reached out to the manager, the county manager, in an effort to try to stop that from happening. It's not happening nearly as much now, but I still see occasions where you'll have dispatchers that'll hold calls for a period of time before they dispatch a police officer on it. One of the other issues that we were having was, you heard the fire chief talk about false alarms. We certainly have our share. I think last year we handled a little over 11,000 alarm calls. We've seen minor reductions in that. I brought along with me today Investigator Reynolds, who's over the Cry Wolf program. I'm going to let him come on and tell you some of the challenges that we've had and some of the things that you all can do to try to help us reduce those activities. Investigator Reynolds, please take it away.
Hey, how everyone doing? I'm Investigator Reynolds with the City of South Fulton Police Department. I'm also in charge of the Cry Wolf Alarm Program production. In the City of South Fulton, it requires all residents and businesses to register their burglar alarm to the Cry Wolf Alarm Production Program. If not, there will be a fine of $100 fee. I'm pretty sure some citizens are aware about that as well. We are working with the ones that do have appeals. I'm at 3220 Butner Road. If you have any appeals or any charges, fines, just come and see me. To talk about numbers based off the chief. 2022, we had a total of 7,848 alarm calls. 2023, just the last year, we went down a total of 3,257. So we end up having 4,591 alarm calls. So we are pushing the information out as much as possible to the citizens, the residents and businesses as well. So I am very happy with that. My goal is to attend, HOA meetings, all events, so I can try to push out this information as much as possible. So I will leave all my information in the chat as well. And like I said, if you guys need me or have any questions, please come see me at Butner Road. That's all I have. Thank you, Chief.
Reynolds, can you tell them how to go about registering their alarm?
They can go on the City of South Fulton website, crywolfservices.com/South Fulton GA. I would definitely leave that in the chat as well. And I will also give you guys a phone number directly to Crywolf that you can call if you have issues doing it online. Because I have had some citizens stated that they have issues online. So I will give you guys a number as well to call Crywolf directly.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Investigator Reynolds. And I wanted to talk briefly also about ways that we can communicate better with the residents of District 4. Today, in my CompStat meeting, we talked about this program that we will be rolling out in 2 weeks, and it's called Community Connect. I know one of the biggest problems that are complaints that I get from District 4 residents, it has a lot to do with parking. I know we have quite a few subdivisions in District 4, and that's probably one of the largest complaints that I get from residents. And so this Community Connect program, what it does, it'll allow you to go in and put information into the program, and it'll instantly come to law enforcement officers that are working in that area, and they'll be able to respond to it in real time. I know for many of you, you use C-Click Fix as an option, but by the time we get those parking problems, what happens is by the time we get it that next day, the car is gone. And in many cases, people say, well, we call the police and they never showed up, or we put it on C-Click Fix and they never showed up. It's usually whenever that police officer gets the information about the illegal parking that's taking place. And so what we want to do is be a lot more responsive as it relates to the illegal parking issue. Also, I need to make sure that we're working with Mr. Valenzuela, because what some neighborhoods have done, what some HOAs have done, is they've installed their own no parking signs. We need to make sure that whatever signs were erected, they were erected by the city. Those will be the only legally recognized no parking signs. And so we need to make sure that we're getting an actual list of legal no parking signs that exist throughout the city, because those will be the only ones that we'll be able to legally enforce. On this Community Connect platform, you'll also be able to put directed patrols. If you're going out on vacation and you want the police to come by and check your home from time to time, you'll be able to go in there and fill out a form. It'll instantly go to the patrol commanders. They will assign those to a beat officer so that we can make sure that we have a more efficient process as it relates to our directed patrols. And so there are a lot of different functionality on this particular platform. Most of it primarily deals with quality of life issues, and we want to make sure that we're being more efficient in our day-to-day operations as it relates to addressing those quality of life concerns, because that's the main complaints that I get from your council member, making sure that we are addressing those quality of life issues for District 4 residents. The last thing I would like to talk to you all about, we've been successful in hiring our Police Athletic League director. We were fortunate. He ran one of the largest PAL programs in the state of Florida. We were able to lure him up here to the city of South Fulton, and I believe his PAL program was ranked #1 PAL program in the nation. And so Executive Director Tim Abrams is on. Tim, did you want to tell the District 4 residents a little bit about what they could expect from our Police Athletic League in the coming months?
Yes, indeed. Can y'all hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, good. My name is Tim Abram. I'm the new PAL director for the city of South Fulton Police Department. And PAL is a mission. I worked in the juvenile prison system for 15 years, and I watched kids come in and out, and their recidivism rate was so high. And so when I heard about PAL, some 15 odd years ago, I hit the ground running. It's a mission to save our children. In America, between the hours of 3 p.m. and 8 p.m., juvenile crime is at an all-time high. And our job is to bridge the gap between the kids in our communities and law enforcement. And so we're looking at bringing in programs for the hook. So basketball, baseball, track and field, you name it, that's the hook. But we want to position our police officers as friends. So it's a Cops and Kids program. It'll be a 501c3. So we're looking for help from the community. We need volunteers. We need our business leaders, civic groups, youth organizations to rally around us while we try to provide safe programs for our kids in our community. We're going to be housed at Welcome All Park. We're actually looking at having a PAL Mentoring Day on Saturday, April the 13th. And we need for the community to rally around us and try to get kids off the street. We're going to have football camps, cheerleading, softball, basketball camps, and it'd be just a development stage. But it really will be mentoring. So we'll have vendors setting up. We'll also have the police department bringing out the Bearcat and different types of programs and vendors set up so that we could position ourselves just to communicate in an effective way and let parents and the community know that this is a safe place that you can bring your child. We don't want kids to go to jail. And that's the big thing. It's about kids and it's about crime prevention. And so we want to make sure that we do all that we can in the community to get the word out. Let parents know and in America, I know we used to say at-risk kids are in trouble, but all kids that don't have proper supervision is at risk with getting in trouble. So without the adult supervision or some loved one guiding that kid, chances are they'll find themselves on the wrong side of the track of law. So we want to be able to provide these programs, and we want to be able to position ourselves in the community where we can coach and mentor, encourage, also aftercare programs, summer camp programs. And so this mentoring day on April the 13th will give us some insight in the community, give us an opportunity to have almost like a meet and greet with the kids and the cops in the community and civic groups and volunteers and get the word out. It's an awareness. We want people to know that you have resources here in the community that will be able to help you. So we're hitting the ground running. We're going into the schools, the elementary schools and high schools and middle schools in the surrounding areas so that we can let them know about this PAL Mentoring Day. We're going to different church groups and civic groups and letting them know as well. So we thank everybody that's ready to get on board with this and help provide safe programs for our kids to have fun. And the whole key to it is kids love to have fun. So we want to make sure that we make these programs fun for kids, where they get on their parents' nerve and say, "Hey, we need to be a part of the PAL program. We need to make sure you drop us off, or how can we get involved?" So we need all the support that we can get, especially from our business community. PAL is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So we do rely on financial support from the community. So if you want to get involved and you have programs that are geared towards the youth, please send them our way. We're going to be applying for grants. We're going to be doing fundraisers and all types of things to help raise dollars so that won't be a hindrance to get kids off the street. And so, like I said, we're housed at Welcome All Park. So if you want to stop in, if you're interested in being a volunteer, whether it's baseball, football, cheerleading, step team, team mentoring, you name it. I had a parent to say, "Hey, I want to see chess tournaments," and I'm an advocate of chess, and I said, "Well, come on down and fill out a volunteer form." And so she was excited that, she thought she was going to get some resistance. But I said, no, if the kids love it, then we want to try to provide that program because that's what keeps kids focused and it keeps them engaged. And so that's very important to us. So PAL is not just set one way. So I thank you, and we look for your support. As you know, it takes a village to raise a child. So we need for everybody to get behind this great cause and help us to mentor our kids so that they can become productive citizens in our community.
Tim, can you tell them how to sign up for PAL?
Well, right now, as we are, and we're still at our early stages, and so if you could now, we're actually signing up through the Parks and Recreation Department at Welcome All Park. Soon we will have our own website up. And once we have that, we'll slowly transition into our own. But now you could actually go through Welcome All Park to sign up for the April 13th Mentoring Day event.
Gotcha. I appreciate it. Councilman, that's it for police. If anyone has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them now.
Okay.
We do have a few questions.
Go ahead, Jackie.
When you contact the non-emergency number as it relates to parking in subdivisions, the police officers never show. What is being done for no show, no responses on the department's part?
So the Fulton County E911 answers our non-emergency number. If you've called the non-emergency number and you're not getting a response, or if I would ask that you please call the police department or make us aware of that, because chances are if they've answered the phone, no one's conveyed that message to us. And that's pretty much a consistent complaint that I'm hearing. Because if it's given to our police officers, they respond. My preference would be that we not call the non-emergency number. If you have information about illegal parking, go ahead and call 911 and let them put it into the order of priority. That's the way it's going to be handled anyway. And so my preference would be that you go ahead and call 911 if you have information relative to illegal parking. That way we know at least the conversation is recorded. And that gives us the ability to go back and listen to the recording to see exactly what was said and where the breakdown in terms of the response is occurring.
Thank you. And last question that we have is an individual that actually lives in District 3. Thank you for joining us. They're having an issue with loitering at a convenience store. How can they use Community Connect?
So there's a directed patrol module on there, and that's really one of my pet peeves. I don't like normally if you have loitering around any of our businesses, then other crimes are coming right behind it. And so I really stress in our CompStat meetings when we sit down and discuss this, the need to make sure that we're enforcing the loitering ordinance. So if you see when Community Connect goes online in the next 2 weeks and you see directed patrols, if you put that in there and describe loitering as one of the problems, then what'll happen is it'll instantly go to a patrol. Well, it'll actually come to everyone at the command level in the police department. And then we can make sure that those issues are being addressed immediately. I appreciate you bringing that to me. Certainly, if it's occurring around one of our businesses, I insist that our police officers enforce the loitering ordinance.
Okay. Is that it, Jackie?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Thank you, everyone. It's 8:08. Again, I want to thank all the department heads and their staff for coming on this evening and for informing the folks of District 4. I know we had a lot crammed in an hour and a half, roughly 90 minutes. We made it to around 98 minutes. And again, Jackie, thank you for hosting and for organizing this. Jessica, thank you again for all the work you did to help to support the office. And to the residents of District 4, I want to thank you guys for joining us, and even those from across the city who may have popped in. Again, this is your city. Continue to engage with your city. Continue to engage with the staff, and when you need to, with a council member. We're here to serve you. Okay, so once again, everyone, thank you very much. Thank you to Bishop Blackie over here who gave our opening prayer. And good night, everyone.
Good night.
All
right, thank y'all.
All right, good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks. Good night.